I want to thank you for coming tonight. I'd like to welcome you to the Tamaqua Community Arts Center. My name is Leona Riga, and I am the coordinator at the Arts Center as well as the Safety Initiative. And that is actually why you're here this evening. I started with the Safety Initiative almost 2 years ago, and through the last 2 years, I've been in contact with people in the public through surveys, through conversations, through some of the events that we've had, like National Night Out, some of our community meetings where we've talked about safety and the importance of it in our community and how people feel about it. And what we discovered was that there's a very broad range between how people feel about Tamaqua. Some people that are here really, really love their community and they have lots of wonderful things to say about themselves and about their neighbors and about what is offered here. And then there are those who do not feel that way. It's completely the opposite. So we started to brainstorm and we started to talk about what can we do here in our area. And so we started to bring some different initiatives. One of those is the Green Dot program. If you have not heard about the Green Dot program, that's one thing that you're going to hear more about in the next 2 years. It's a violence prevention program. It's power-based violence. So keep your ears open. There will be more coming on that. We participated in National Night Out. We encouraged everybody in the community to come out to the streets and to show their support against crime or violence, and also to help build those community relationships, which is some of those things that we've heard people don't feel that they have. So the next thing that we did then was we contacted Kathy Odorizzi. Kathy, if you'd like to come up with me. Kathy is a resident of Tamaqua. She also works for the Allentown Art Museum. And we asked Kathy if she would brainstorm with us something that we could do that would be big. We wanted something mega. We wanted something to make our community come together in a variety of different ways. It was also multi-generational. We didn't want to just focus on our young people. We didn't want to just focus on parents. We didn't want to just focus on the elderly. We wanted everybody to feel like there was a part or a piece for them. So Kathy, come on over. Kathy's going to tell you what we did next, and then eventually we're going to introduce you to exactly what Dear Tamaqua is and what role that you play in the process of this. Thank you.
Thanks, Leona. Can everybody hear me? I'm not used to being on a stage and talking into a microphone. Like Leona said, I'm Kathy Odorizzi. I'm a proud resident of Tamaqua, and I do work at the Allentown Art Museum. I work in their education department. Last spring, the Arts Center contacted me to help them create an arts event that would bring the community together. They were inspired by a TED Talk that was given by a man named David Binder, who is a Broadway producer. And his TED Talk was about, and actually was entitled, The Arts Festival Revolution. And what it focused on was an arts festival in Sydney, Australia, that he attended, and what made this event so unique is that it wasn't a festival where they brought in professional artists and musicians and theater groups to entertain the community and create the art. It was where the community created the art and the entertainment within themselves, within their neighborhoods, and it was neighbors sharing with neighbors their stories and their talents. The streets and the sidewalks and the yards became their stage, and as a result, it brought the community together, and it really provided and instilled a sense of pride in their city. And that's what we hope to do with the Dear Tamaqua project. After, like Leona said, we brainstormed some ideas off of that video. We wrote a grant to the Pennsylvania Council on the Arts through Jump Street, which is located in Harrisburg. It's an arts organization. And we were lucky enough to receive funding to bring in Touchstone Theater to work with the community, hopefully over a 2-year period, to create an original theatrical work for the community, created by the community. So we need your help to do that. I'm so thankful that you're here to hear about the project and help make it a success. So we would like to thank the Pennsylvania Council on the Arts and Jump Street for providing the funding to bring Touchstone here. Touchstone, I've worked with them through many residencies, many programs, and they have a great reputation of bringing a community together and sharing their stories and their talents. So through Tamaqua, we hope that you share, like I said, your stories, your memories, your hopes for the future, your favorite things about living here. And it doesn't have to be just a letter or a writing. It could be poems, it could be a song, it could be artwork, anything that you'd like to express about the town that you live in. So I'm going to pass it on to JP from Touchstone. He's going to talk a little bit more about the project and about Touchstone itself.
Hi everybody, I'm JP, I'm from Touchstone. In the back of the room there's Lisa, she's from Touchstone as well. As Kathy mentioned, we have been working with her for a while, she was familiar with our work. The large scale kind of things that the leadership group here had seen from Australia is something that Touchstone is known for, but in our hometown of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. What I'm going to do is show you a couple of examples and explain a couple of the programs that we've done already, and then how we'll approach the Dear Tamaqua project. In all of these projects, what's key is a period of story gathering. In the case of our Dear Tamaqua project, it's these letters. These letters we're asking people to write, the art we're asking people to produce. Touchstone's work in this arena began about in its very beginning, 33 years ago, it was community-minded with the art it was creating. But in 1999, Touchstone began creating a piece of work that it sought to explore the closing of Bethlehem Steel and how that was affecting the community. That piece included a cast of over 100 steelworkers, both blue collar and white collar, and they all came together on the site and did a site-specific work. Following up on that, the success of Steelbound, we looked at what other things were happening in the community. There was a large Spanish population that was moving to the south side of Bethlehem. That had been there for a while, but there's always been a tension between the Spanish-speaking and English-speaking segments of our community. So what Touchstone did was, after identifying this problem, found a way to frame it. And what they used was the novel Don Quixote. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. And we created a script that lit a 2-mile theatricade from Lehigh University down through the center of town up to St. Michael's Cemetery, roughly about 1.25 miles, 2 miles. And I have a clip of that to show you so you can get a feel of what it is we're doing. These pieces well had a cast between 50 and 100 people, and it was performed bilingually.
Oh, caballero de la blanca luna, es claro que nunca he visto a la ilustre Dulcinea. Let me have thee. But I am victor. You must abandon your arms and retire to the hall. Ancestro, vuestro.
So you can kind of tell from that clip that these large-scale projects take a lot of cooperation from the entire community. Everybody's involved. The city's parks department, the city's utility department. How can we reach any segment of the community? and bring them in. You saw people coming out, looking out their windows. Following up on Don Quixote, we were asked to join a consortium of institutions in Bethlehem and Allentown East and all the Lehigh Valley, and they were doing a project called the Lehigh Valley Black African Heritage History Project. And it sought to tell the history of the black experience over the last 100 years in Bethlehem. After that, we were asked by the Historic Bethlehem Partnership to prepare a piece for the sesquicentennial of the American Civil War and Bethlehem's role in the Civil War. I've got a clip of that one. The piece centers on a man named Dan Rice. And Dan Rice was a showman who played in the North when he was in the North and played in the South when he was in the South, and actually came to Bethlehem during the time of the Civil War. He was known as the first man to have a tightrope walking elephant. And there's an old folk tale that in Bethlehem, in front of the Moravian bookstores, one of the trees is shorter than all the others because Dan Rice tethered his elephant to it and ate all the foliage off in one season, the stunted its growth. Again, this is a piece with about 50 to 100 cast members, musicians. Yeah, this is that down the Historic Bethlehem Partnership area. So eventually that wagon behind actually opens up. It's the stage itself, it's a Civil War pageant wagon which we constructed for the project. And we performed this piece at 5 different locations around Bethlehem. The Historic Bethlehem Partnership ground, if you've ever been to Music Fest, this is down in that ground. We performed at Lehigh University's campus, at the at City Hall, and over at Moravian College, and then along the South Side Greenway. So the idea of using public space and creating site-specific works is something we're really jazzed about at Touchstone, and filling those spaces with stories that come from the community. The story gathering process for the Civil War was a little different. We didn't have Civil War soldiers to talk to. So we partnered with Lehigh University, and they had gone into the cemeteries and found the tombstones of the Civil War dead, and then started to write biographies on these people, doing research. What were they doing? How did they live? And there's a couple books that were actually written in Bethlehem by local authors about certain soldiers. James Pfeiffer is a big book down there. You can still go to his grave, and he had all his correspondence his parents saved, and this woman published it. The Moravian archives at Moravian University, they were meticulous record keepers. So letters between people in the seminaries and the families in the South, really interesting stuff. What Touchstone's currently working on right now is an exploration called Journey from the East. And for those that know what's going on in Bethlehem right now, if you all read the Morning Call 2 Sundays ago, there's been a huge flux of Chinese people into the Bethlehem community because of the target marketing of the Sands Casino. And so we're exploring that impact on the city. We're using a 2-year process in that, and that same 2-year process we're looking to bring to the Tamaqua project here. So we're in the first part of this process. We're in the story gathering phase of the Dear Tamaqua project. And so this is where you all come in, right? This is what we need you for. This is what we need you to spread the word about, is we want people to write letters. We want to know whatever you want to say about Tamaqua. The subject of the letter is Dear Tamaqua. It's a prompt. It could be a piece of art. If you want to write a song, if you want to create a theatrical sketch, if you want to create a sculpture, whatever you want. We want to see it. We hope to use, if there's songs created, eventually when we put together the big production here in Tamaqua, we'd hope to use this music, we'd hope to use this art that's created. And so how do you submit a letter? Well, when you came in tonight, there were packets that you all received. In there's a blank piece of stationery with a Dear Tamaqua letterhead. You can write on that tonight. You can stay here. Leona will leave the doors open. If you're sitting here writing, she will not throw you out. We're looking to get as many of these letters as we can. easiest way, if you're not so inclined to with the pen, is the website. So it's just simply deartamaqua.com, and you can put the big button on it, write a letter. You click on it there, and if the internet's working, big field, you put your name, your email address, so we can keep a log of where everything's coming from, and then you submit your letter. You can write as many letters as you want. The same goes with the music, the art, the videos. There's a link right there. All you have to do is select, upload the files, and you can put whatever you'd like up there. So, when we get all these letters for the first year, what we'll do is we'll continue to have some public meetings like this. We'll hope to have some dialogue with the community. Tonight's not really that time. Tonight's just for information. But eventually, we're hoping to have sit-downs where people can read their stories to other people and inspire dialogue about how things can help the community. Last night at the Borough Council meeting, the mayor of Tamaqua read the first of the letters that came in at the meeting. So people are listening. Like, there's this feeling that I know I felt in my life before that no one's listening, and you can complain all you want, but we are listening. Every letter that comes in will be read. Some of them will be read at the Borough Council meeting. We'll post some of them on the Facebook page. That we want to touch every part of this community. If there's underserved parts of the community that you think need special attention, let us know. Let us know how you think is the best way to get in touch with them. We've been brainstormings that using high school volunteers to go to the Majestic, to go to the high rise, to help arthritic people get their stories, either through video or scribing it for them. The crowds in the bars who aren't usually engaged in town affairs. Well, one of the ideas we have is to create bar coasters that have Dear Tamaqua. And your bartender, can give it out, and on the back you flip it over and you can write your letter to Dear Tamaqua, and your bar coaster, off it goes, back to us. So any sort of idea, way that we can touch any segment of the community, we're completely up for here. We want, the more we can get back, the richer the end product will be. And so our first milestone will be August 6th of this year. I believe it's August 6th here, August 5th. There'll be a reading outside as part of the safety initiative, National Night Out, and we'll have some of the letters. We'll invite people to come and read them as sort of a staged reading as part of that event. Then, at that point, we'll continue to keep letters coming in. Submissions still welcome, and that's when we'll begin working on whatever this production will be. And we'll be using the parking lot across the street. This will be our big venue. This is we've got this huge piece of land over there. We'll fill it up with music. We'll fill it up with community. We'll fill it up with theatrics, and all that's going to be born out of the content that Tamaqua gives us. So, you guys have any questions? All right, either I did a really good job or a really bad job. Cool. Well, I'll be here for a while. Leona, Lisa, Micah, Kathy. We've got a number of people on our community partners here that are in attendance tonight as well. You can find all their names on the website. I see Dina Deppis out there. Please feel free to ask any one of these people about the project. And so moving forward, if there's things you can do, it's 1, write a letter. 2, create a piece of art if you're so inclined to do so. 3, please tell others about what's going on. 4, there's posters right by Leona back there. If you own a business, or you have a place where you think you can put a poster up, please take one and put it there. And as well as if you do own a business, or that you have enough weight to throw around at the business you're at, if you can figure out some of these initiatives, whether it's the bar coaster idea, or whether it's at the Tamaqua Diner or something like that, and we make placemats that are free, to have the Dear Tamaqua prompt where people can eat at a diner or at a restaurant and write letters. Also, you can join us, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We're out there, and thank you all very much for the time coming out here tonight, and we really appreciate it. Thanks so much.